Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out my April installment of Smash That Small Paper Pad collab with Deb Houck here on YouTube. And of course there are a number of other talented ladies who are participating in this collab. And I do have everyone's links listed below in the description box, so please don't forget to go and check them out. There has been some wonderful ideas these last couple of months since we've all been participating in this collab. And again, our goal is to smash as many small paper pads as we can. And I know a lot of the ladies are just choosing one pad at a time to work on. And for me, I have found that it works better to work on at least 2 pads at a time, just because I get bored with one paper pad. So it's nice for me to work back and forth, but I do finish those 2 or 3 paper pads before I move on to the next set. And so these are the last 2 that I was finishing up, and it was the Bo Bunny Madeline collection, and then this Timeless Memories Prima pad. This one had 30 sheets in it, and I'm not sure how many, 36 pages in this one. And so last month I did show you what I had started with, and then of course this month I did finish using both of these paper pads. And if you recall, I had almost used up this paper pad. I had some strips and 2 full sheets, and so what I ended up doing is just making a bunch of embellishments or words that I can use in my junk journals. And so here are those, and I just printed off on craft paper some different words. Like this one says a moment in time, this one says attic finds, dreams of beauty, that I'll be able to use these in my junk journals, in paper clusters, those kind of things. And then I had some here where I just snipped off the edges, added a little eyelet. And my idea for these ones, and this is a Pinterest inspired idea, I have seen people who add the little garment pins, or they're also called bulb pins or gourd pins. And then you attach like a charm or a button, a piece of lace, just miscellaneous things, and then that same word thing, which I can easily still cut these out to do the exact same thing, but I just left those as is. And then these ones I did go ahead and cut so that they're ready to go. And I did ink some of my edges. It's just a really cute idea. You can hang this off of the side of some lace trim in a journal or something like that. Or I've also attach them to Happy Mail if I've wrapped it up and put like a ribbon around it, and then I can attach one of these to it too. And then one more item to share with you guys that came from that Prima pad is I did decorate a whole bunch of these little key tags, 25 key tags that you can buy. And I did decorate the front and backs. I just punched out little circles and added words to them all. Again, these are just items I can use in my junk journals. And my thought again on these is you just attach some little bulb pins, and you can add a button to it or a piece of lace or even a charm and hang them from your journals. So I do have those that I also created with the Prima paper pad. And then everything else I'm showing you is going to be coming from this paper pad right here, this Beau Bunny one. And the first thing I made was a bunch of pockets that I can add to junk journals. And I know I'm going to get questions on this, so I did pull it out. The die cut that I used is this one, and it fit perfectly. It's just slightly smaller than 6 inches across. And then what's nice about this die cut is it cuts the base, but then if you want a paper layer on top of it, it also cuts that. You can use this one. And this company is a small company, and it's called Maddie's Crafting Joy. And the name of this die is Stitched Slots Pocket Set. And I did find this one on Amazon, but I did look up the company, you know, and it is a small company that makes some dies. There's not very many of them, but I saw this one on Amazon and I really liked it, so I went ahead and ordered that one. So yeah, it makes the cutest little pockets, and what you do then is you fold the tabs underneath, and then you would glue them to your journal page, and then you could go ahead and stick tags in those little pockets, which I did make a few tags also to go with these, but I have a lot that are blank, and some of them I did decorate. You guys can see I did decorate this one. And last month I did use some of my scraps that I cut out, like these hearts were left over from last month's paper pad. So I did add those, and I added the words live, laugh, love on that one. This one was the same. I just didn't decorate these 2 yet. They're ready to go, so I can decorate according to the theme of the journal that I'm working on. I did make some shabby ones because there of course was some shabby paper, shabby chic paper in there. This one's in a green color. And again, last month I created these little embellishments that I showed you guys, but I thought these would be fun to stick into the pockets. So I took those back out again, thinking that for a journal that would be really fun to go ahead and add those. And on these ones, the base is cardstock. Here was another piece of paper. I kind of struggled with what to do with these papers that have lots of designs on them. They're just tough to cut up and use on projects, so this worked out well. And this one I was thinking it'd be fun to do kind of like a tea party or garden party themed journal, and you could tuck in little teacups in the little pockets. And there's still room to add an embellishment or two on the actual paper here, like I could write the word tea party or something, but I thought that was kind of a fun idea. And this one I just went ahead and just added a little bird. This one I just added the word love at the top. These ones I've left kind of plain. This one I did put a little label here that you could add a word to. And then this one right here just has some pretty flowers. This one's kind of a nice vintage shabby feel to that one. And then again, I said I made a couple of tags that I could use in those pockets, but I could also use them elsewhere in journals or other projects. And these are just bases. They haven't been decorated. So again, these are just cutting off just the remnants that were left over from other projects. Here's a couple of bigger tags. Again, I kind of struggled with this paper and the ones that had the picture frames and the bird cages on them, because, you know, how do you cut them up and use them on projects and still have them look cohesive? So I just added them to tags. And so here was one of those bird cages ones, and I just put it on the bottom as a pocket on a bigger tag that I cut out of cardstock. And I did decorate this one. And this one I did also add a pocket on the back side, so if you were to put it in a journal, there'd be a pocket to stick another tag or a little note or something. And so this one was just, again, just some blank tags to use. And then this one I decorated with one of those little teacups, since I was cutting the teacups out. And I have a little tag that sticks inside this teacup, and then of course you can stick it in here too. So I made those with the paper. I also created some little mini notebooks. You can add these either in your purse, or you can stick them into a pocket in a junk journal, or attach it with a paper clip or something. And I just used up, the cover is the paper pad, and then on the inside I just used up bits and pieces that I had left over from past junk journals, just trying to use up my stash. So I have some different size papers, and this one turned out really cool. A long time ago I tea dyed or coffee dyed some graph paper, and the graph paper actually bled to this kind of greenish color, which I thought kind of matched some of the colors in this paper pad, so I added that into here. And they're all, I made two that looked like this one right here, and just one that looked like this one. Next, I created some more cards, and I don't remember if last month, if you guys remember, I created these embellishments right here out of that Beau Bunny paper pad. Well, this month I did take a couple of those embellishments and add them to cards. And so these 3 cards I made, as you can see, I added that embellishment right here in the middle, and I layered a couple more pieces of cardstock, and then the background piece is another piece of that Beau Bunny paper pad. And so I made 2 like this. And this one is exactly the same, but I went ahead and added a little bird up at the top, and then I added a whole bunch of paper flowers and parchment flowers here in the corner on this one's. And on the inside of all of them, I just die cut a Spellbinders die, and I'll be able to add a sentiment to that later. So I made 3 of those cards. And the last paper, I created 3 more cards. I do enjoy making 6x6 cards, so I do love using my small paper pads for those. And so I made 3 more cards, very similar. Again, the background paper is that paper pad, and same with the bird cages. And I just went ahead and layered some different flowers. They're all slightly different. with different flower clusters. Again, I just was trying to use up some of my different flowers. Like this was the last flower I had like this, so just trying to use up bits and pieces. This one had a little bit different flower center. I still have some little glue strings hanging out of these. And then you can see the little bird sticking out right there on all the cards. And I loved how this kind of mint green flower looked, and that was the only one I had left of that one. Otherwise I probably would have put that on all 3 cards. And then of course that little bird. So these will be the next paper pads I've chosen to work with for this collab, and it's working quite well for me to be able to have 2 paper pads to work with at a time, just so I can go back and forth, because again, I kind of get bored easy, and at least I can do a couple things from one paper pad, switch over to the other one, make a couple things, and go back to the other paper pad. And so hopefully you guys are okay with me continuing to do that in this collab. Again, I will work from these 3 paper pads until they are gone. And I just chose these 3 paper pads for different reasons. This first one I chose is Botanica. It's a Kaiser Craft paper pad. It is 6.5-inch paper pad. And this one's kind of a nice botanical themed paper pad. Lots of greens, and there's also some purples in here. They do have some cut aparts. There's some brown shades in there. There's one of the purple papers that's really pretty. And there might be a page missing from this one, but I'm not sure. And then also in the back there are some punch outs. These actually just punch out. There's some little sentiments and different things. So my plan with this paper pad is to try to make things for journals, because I do like to use botanical or nature themed stuff in some of my journals. So this one I'll mostly be devoting to that, is making stuff for my junk journals. And then I also picked out this paper pad. It's Lost and Found. And this one has 24 sheets in it, and this one's from My Mind's Eye. This particular one I purchased at Tuesday Morning, but I do have 2 other paper pads of this one, and so that's why I chose this one, just because I had 3 of this one. I've been gifted this one before by a couple different people, and I like it, so I decided to work with this one, and it's kind of a burgundy black and kind of a vintage cream color in here. And what's nice about this paper pad is it is double-sided, so I will have, you know, kind of double choice on what I want to work with, because there's stuff on both sides. And I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to work on with this one, if I make some more cards or something like that, or maybe alter some little notebooks or something. And then the last paper pad I chose to work with is another Kaiser Craft one, and this one also is a 6.5 paper pad, and this one's called Beautiful. And this one kind of has some brighter colors, nature themed in it, kind of a wide variety of colors. This one's really pretty. Some of them are embossed, some of them aren't. Like this one has a little bit of embossing. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this one, so if you guys have any ideas for this style of paper, let me know. Some nice little background papers. Again, this one I think has some punch outs, or not punch out, but cut aparts, like little journal cards. And there's also some punch outs in the back. And I might be missing a couple sheets from this one, I'm not sure. Our local craft store has a rummage sale twice a year where people can rent tables and sell supplies, and I picked this one up at that rummage sale, and the lady that was selling them, I think, was selling them for like 50 cents a paper pad. So I pretty much, when I got to her table and I saw she was selling paper that cheap, I pretty much bought any paper pad that I thought I remotely could use. And so that's where a lot of my small paper pads come from, is from her. And then also the ones, of course, that I bought at Tuesday Morning. So I am going to be using this one. So, thanks again everybody so much for watching. Please don't forget to check out all of the other ladies who are participating in this collab. I do have everyone's links listed below, and I do recommend checking them out. There's a wide variety of styles and ideas out there. I'm learning quite a bit of different things you can do with small paper pads, so it's been fun for me also to watch the other ladies who are participating in this collab to see what they are working on. And until next time, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Then one more item to share with you guys that came from that Prima pad is I did decorate a whole bunch of these little key tags, 25 key tags that you can buy. And I did decorate the front and backs. I just punched out little circles and added words to them all. Again, these are just items I can use in my junk journals. And my thought again on these is you just attach some little bulb pins and you can add a button to it or a piece of lace or even a charm and hang them from your journals. So I do have those that I also created with the Prima paper pad.